Hello students, I am Shruti Raturi. I welcome you all in this session. Today we will study a poem in English for students of class 10th. This is a poem from your first flight book. The name of the poem is The Ball Poem, written by John Berryman. John Berryman was born on 25th October 1914 in McAllister. He was an American poet and a great scholar. He was a major figure of the 20th century's American poetry. He was considered as a key figure in the confessional school of poetry. The poet, through his poem, The Ball Poem, has described the reality of life which everyone has to face one day. He has touched the topic of how to stand up against the miseries and sorrows of life. This poem is about a boy who loses a ball in the water. He is very upset. Though the ball does not cost too much, it gives a big shock to him. His ball is the first thing he has ever held dear. However, he has never even considered the possibility that he might one day lose his ball. He keeps staring at the place where his ball has gone. The poet sees all this, but he doesn't interfere with the boy's sorrow. The poet thinks that the loss of the ball will teach the boy a lesson of accepting the loss with tolerance and pleasure. Everyone has to lose something or the other in this world. Still, they are to survive and fulfill their obligations. This loss makes the boy learn that gains and losses are part and parcel of life. One should accept them as the common matter. In this poem, the ball symbolizes our family or friends whom we love, and the loss of the ball symbolizes their death. As we grow older, we will become more and more accustomed to seeing our loved ones die. We will learn how to deal with such a loss and to move on from it as well. Death may grieve us or cause us to feel depressed. But sooner or later, we must overcome those feelings and start living our normal lives again. So, students, let's start the poem. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then, merrily over, there it is in the water. In these lines, the poet asks his readers a question. He has seen a young boy's ball rolling away from him, bouncing happily on its way, and finally falling into the water. He asks his reader what the boy should do now. No use to say, "Oh, there are other balls." An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. As he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor, where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime another ball is worthless. The poet says that there is no benefit of consoling the boy by saying that he will get another ball, because he has other balls too. He says so because the boy is feeling very sad. He is completely surrounded by sorrow. He is sad because all the memories of childhood days went down the harbor with the ball. Here the poet says that the boy is very sad, and the ball which has now gone into the water reminds him of those sweet memories, of the times when he owned it. This loss is unbearable for him, and he is grief-stricken. The poet says that he can't even tell the boy to take some money from him in order to buy another ball. He says so because the new ball will not bring the sense of belonging to the boy. Now he senses his first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls, balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. In these lines, the poet tells us that the little boy is undergoing a transformation. He is just now coming to the realization that the ball was his responsibility, as many things will be after this. In this world, everything you own is our responsibility and you must keep those things safe. However, nothing you own will be yours forever. Other people will take away your ball, or it will get lost in some other way or the other. No one will buy another ball for you. Money is only something you can show off, but ultimately it cannot buy you inner peace. Here, the ball is a symbol for the one's possessions, and the poet is saying that we will certainly lose them one day, and that they cannot be easily replaced. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days, how to stand up. In the last lines of the poem, the poet says that the boy's eyes have become filled with an awful sadness, but that behind all the grief, he is learning an important lesson of life. He is learning about the loss of things one considers precious. He is learning a lesson that every man must learn. He is learning how to accept the loss and then move on. Suddenly, the boy is brought back to his senses after hearing the sound of the whistle nearby. He can no longer see the ball at all. Poet says that the boy is learning how to stand up against the sense of lost things. This means that the boy is trying to learn the real truth of life, which states that you have to accept the miseries of life and stand up again. This is the truth which everyone has to learn in his or her life, the harsh truth of standing up against the old miseries of life that everyone has to bear. I hope you all would have understood the poem and its meaning, that everyone has to lose something or the other thing in this world, but one should accept them and stand up again.